Yes, welcome back to another episode of kpopRC. We're just gonna be playing around with SketchUp. I got a little inspiration from LS Fest. I was watching Taylor Ray walking the pits, and I saw two sweet 180 or 240 SXs, whatever, and they had obviously LS motors, and they cut the hood just out so you could see the intake plenum. You could see the intake sticking out, and I thought that would be a cool thing to sort of make it 3D printable, so that you just cut out that little bit of Lexan, and sticking through is the LS intake plenum and a bit of the intake tube. Alright, so here you can see the two LS motors sticking out of these hoods, and you can see this massive intake or air filter. I'm not going to put the air filter because I have an intercooler in the front of my 240, so it's got to look turbo. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to run basically an intake pipe down through. It's not going to be cut out exactly this way, but it'll look pretty sick. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out Thingiverse and search for an LS motor. So let's see here, LS engine. Sometimes the Thingiverse search is actually really crappy, so you can do LS engine Thingiverse, and of course, boom, there you go. I guess because it was called LS3 V8, and here you can see we have this cool model, and all I really need is the intake plenum. So if you hit the thing files here, you can find the intake plenum. And we'll find it here in a second. And you just download this thing and you bring it into your computer that way. So a little trick: SketchUp isn't super great at things with lots of polys. It's not really a poly program. What poly is like little triangles that make a three-dimensional object. The more polys that you force feed into SketchUp, the worse SketchUp is going to handle it. At least SketchUp Make, which is the free version of SketchUp. I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can download SketchUp Make. It is a free program, and it's fairly easy to get the hang of, and it'll always be free, so you don't have to worry about weird things like Fusion 360 being weird. Cheers to beers. The first thing I'm going to say that's the easiest way to cut an STL is to actually, the reason I have this is because I have a PRUSA printer, but you can download the PRUSA Slicer for free, and this is a 3D printing software specifically for the PRUSA 3D printers. But you don't need, you can use this thing in various ways, and you don't really need the printer to use certain features. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to bring in that intake manifold. You can see this is a massive intake manifold. It's another weird thing about SketchUp. The smaller the object, the weirder things happen. Some weird things happen. So you can see here this thing is flat. The intake plenum is flat, and my hood of my 240 is not flat, right? So you can see it's on an angle here. So I got to make sure that the motor, or the engine is like up. So if I do cut this thing, I got to cut it on an angle. So let's do that first. Let's angle this thing out. So nice. I think that might be just a little too much. Yeah, I think we've got it there. So now I've angled it. Now it has all these really cool little tools to the left here. One of them is called cut, and you can actually pick where you want this thing to cut. And I think I'm gonna cut it right around here. This is where it's gonna get cut. So I hit perform cut and it splices this thing in two. So I'm gonna delete the part that I don't need, and here you can see now we've got what I want to stick out from the hood. So this is another cool thing. So you can, if you actually right click this thing, you can split the object to objects, and now I can just delete all these like stray sort of, I think that's the fuel rail fuel rail mounts. We're gonna have to delete all of these when we're in SketchUp, because we don't want those poking out from the Lexan either. Maybe I should have even gone a little bit further down. Like maybe I should have cut this even more, which we can do. We can do that. We can just kind of cut it there, hit perform cut. Now we can delete these things. Boom, there we go. Again, split object, right? Split the freaking object. Let's see here, to objects. Now I can delete all these little rogue MFers. Just delete the hell out of those. Oops, not the whole thing, you dummy. All right, dingus. Let's see here, wicked. Boom, 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 boom. This thing is still kind of on there, which is annoying. So this is why this program is cool, is because I can highlight this and go file, export, and I can actually export the plate as an STL. So let's bring it to where I have all this stuff. Boom. We'll call it make video, because it's part of the video. Boom. And now we go into SketchUp make. Delete this dude, because I don't even know why they start with this dude. I guess it's just to kind of, I don't know, dude. I don't know why there's a dude there, dudes. This is a weird dude there. Anyway, so we import an STL, and this is where the polys become a bit of a problem, because this might actually take a little bit of time. So I'm gonna hit import, and you can see here in the bottom left corner, maybe you can't see the bottom left corner. Yeah, it says here repairing geometry. I don't know what the hell it's doing. I don't know why it's repairing anything, but it takes a bunch of time for this program to just sort of like get there. So I'm just gonna stop the camera. I'm gonna stop OBS, and I'll come back when it pops up. All right, sweet, it popped up. Wicked, it popped up. You can see it here. It's like ready to go. It's on a cool angle. You got to remember that the hood of the car has a bit of an angle, so I'm trying to make it so that the motor is actually parallel to the ground, but the hood kind of goes down, right? So anyway, so we've got here like this incredibly, you can see all the polys that I was talking about. You can see how when we import STLs into SketchUp, it just polys the hell out of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the whole piece that I'm going to be kind of modifying. It's obviously going to take forever again because of all of the polys, but once we make this thing a group, it'll be easier to work with. I like to make groups in SketchUp so that you don't end up affecting one thing with the other. Like if we didn't group this thing and I drew a square through it, I wouldn't be able to pull that square out without pulling all the polys. So I mean, I'm not going to show you how to do that because this is so many polys, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass. So you can see here, you just hit make group, which might actually, I mean, it's a great time to take a sip of your beer. Yeah, so now we're just waiting for this thing to freaking become a group. Let's go. Yes, son. Okay, there we go. Awesome, wicked. So now what we're gonna do is we want to be able to adhere this thing underneath the Lexan. So what I'm gonna do, I mean, this is gonna be a lot of trial and error. So we're gonna print this thing out. We're probably gonna have to modify it a bunch of times. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a square like this, a rectangle. And using the move tool, I'm gonna put it underneath, underneath this this guy. You can see how when I did that, it didn't actually go to the bottom. What you can do actually, if you grab one of the corners of what you want to move after you highlight it, not like a turkey. Yeah, you click it here, and you can see it wants to go wherever. If you hit the arrow keys, on your keyboard, it will actually constrain it to one sort of plane on the 3D plane or whatever. You can see I'm constrained to the blue axis. And then, this is just going to go up and down. It's not going to go anywhere else. And if I zoom in over here, and I just like put it right where, right at the bottom of this sort of model. We know it's like right on the ground, and you can kind of see how the bottom of that intake plenum is sort of like poking through this rectangular object, which is exactly what we want. I did make a mistake. Actually, no. Let's move it over to the left, like so. And I think we're doing well. We're doing well. Oh yeah, we still have to delete this little son of a bee here. Yeah, maybe we should do that now. We should get this looking as good as we could get it before we get too into it. So if you click on the group and right click, you can actually modify the group or edit the group. And this will only let you modify what's in that group, which is also another great feature of grouping things. If you highlight using this, it'll highlight everything through. So you can see I kind of position the camera so there's nothing in this model that's like behind what I just highlighted, because it would highlight everything. And I just highlighted the top. You can see now I've got all these like weird icicles, or what are those things called? Stalagmites. I don't even know which is which. Anyway, all right, so I'm just going to use the eraser tool, and I'm just going to like painstakingly here erase all this BS and this BS crap right here. We got to get rid of all this shiza, because like it's all in the way and I don't want to deal with it, so we're just going to delete it. All right, we're still in the group. We're still modifying that group of the intake plenum. I'm just going to click outside, double click, and now you can see that's a group. This isn't, but we are going to extrude this thing a little bit. We want to make it thick. We want it to print thick. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of trim this down because it might be too big of a rectangle, and also probably end up making a cut and creating a very thin sort of like traceable template, and that's what you would use to trace on the Lexan of what to cut, and this would fit through it, if that makes any sense. Yeah, let's keep moving. So this is sweet. We've got everything we need. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to highlight everything and unselect the group of the intake plenum. Jeez. And I'm going to make this a group. So now we've got two groups. We got that rectangular prism on the bottom there as one group. We got the intake plenum as another group. Now what we're going to do is we're going to I was thinking about this. I feel like it might be a good idea to add a throttle body. You can see this thing does not have a throttle body, and it would be kind of weird to put a pipe down here without having a proper throttle body. So let's go back to the interwebs and let's search LS intake. No, not intake, throttle body. Yeah, let's look at what these things look like so we get some kind of reference. And here you can kind of see what they look like. It's great to have a reference. I mean, this is like not the stock plenum. This isn't either, but it kind of shows you what it looks like. I'm trying to look at like a 3/4 view so we can actually see. Maybe we'll just search LS3 and it should show us kind of, oh, there we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. In Google, you can actually hit here under tools, and you can do large size, and then you can actually find larger images, which is kind of what we need. I kind of want both sides of the motor to kind of get a good idea. If you right click, open a new tab, there you go. There. So now we've got a fairly good representation of what an intake plenum should look like. This kind of looks a little ugly though. Maybe there's something here with like a prettier, billet throttle body that looks cooler. Because I don't know if I want a stock one, but that one looks pretty cool. Here, let's open that one. Yeah, that one looks pretty sweet. You can see, all right, so it's fairly thick. It's fairly thick. It's kind of rectangular. All right. We got this. I feel like we got this. So you can see here, I've got the intake plenum. I'm trying to like make a throttle body, so I kind of traced it out. I switched up my plan a little bit, made it easier to assemble it. Oh, come on. I made it easier to assemble it away from the thing, so this is what it kind of looks like. I feel like I think it's the right kind of scale. I'm going to make it a group again because it's easier to deal with as a group. And now I'm going to move it. If I go on the outer face, the mating surface, I can like figure out how to sort of like mate it to the center. And I think that's pretty good. I might actually kind of like overlap it a little bit, make it look. Again, the PRUSA Slicer is going to kind of help me with all this stuff. It's going to definitely make things a lot easier. I should probably save this. All right, so let's call this the LS hood. I'll call it the LS hood. Why not? All right, wicked. So that's it, man. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to create sort of a pipe going down. What's going to be important though is editing this group and sort of making this like rectangular prism a little longer to give me a little bit more room, because we want the like intake charge pipe to kind of go down into the hood. You know how it goes. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. It might be a little bit big. This thing might be a little big. Let me see, I can edit group, right? And then I can actually kind of like make things a little smaller, you know, by shrinking things just a touch. Yeah, that looks a little better. Perfect. All right. Next what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a line in the center of this circle, so I have a point of reference to make my my pipe basically. And what we're gonna do is now we're just gonna create a line, and that line is gonna be like the intake piping going down. So I feel like it's gotta go straight out for a little bit. And yeah, I think the best thing to do is sort of like get a good reference line. Like usually when it goes purple, you know, it's like 90 degrees perpendicular. So now we want it to go down. So I'm going to use this like curve tool to make this thing go down. And all I need is the line, right? So we got this line here, and we're going to use a tool called follow me. So what you want to do is you want to like highlight the path that you want the thing to take, you know, highlight the path, hit the follow me tool, and then hit the surface you want to trace down. So that looks actually really, really nice. The problem being that we need it to continue down, so we'll figure that out in a second. I'm gonna undo it anyway because like this line right here caused some problems. So we'll get rid of that line. And then I think we're gonna continue this down so that we can cut it a little bit later. So like from that line, we're gonna continue it down all the way down. I'm hoping that's actually connected. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. All right, so now again, we'll highlight the path. Take a swig of beer, why not? Hit the follow me tool, and then hit what's being traced down. Perfect. All right, so that is what it looks like, and it looks pretty sick. I'm gonna get into this group, and I'm gonna extend this out just for just so I can cut it, right? Because we don't want any of this stuff underneath. So what I'm going to do now is, I mean, sometimes when you think you're going to screw something up, it's always good to sort of duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate it. The way you duplicate things is you hit the move tool, and if you hit control, you see how there's like a little plus sign. There's a little plus sign there, and that plus sign, yeah, means that you can, you know, duplicate whatever you move. So that's what you want to do. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode the group. Then I'm going to highlight this like pipe that I have made, and I'm going to intersect faces with model. Boom. Great. So now what this did was it actually, like, you can see kind of where it screwed up a couple of spots, which is kind of annoying. You can see where it screwed up some spots, which is super annoying. I don't know why SketchUp does it. Maybe because this is the free version of SketchUp. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's just this weird thing. So now we're going to erase everything on this bottom half because it's no longer connected. So that's gone. That's gone. And then, unfortunately, I got to do every single segment of this circle. I have to delete, which is fine. Why not? Why not? Why not? Wicked. Perfect. There it is. Slam. Alright, wicked. So here we go. So this is what it looks like, which is pretty great. Now I'm going to just quickly, like, trim it up a little bit because I feel like we don't need so much overhang. We need some overhang for the Lexan, but not a ton. I think, man, I think that's it. I think we're pretty much done. I mean, that'll look cool sticking out of the hood, which is super cool. Super cool. I think it looks good. It might be a little too far. Might be a little too far. Let's see here. Yeah, it might be a bit too far. Son of a... See, this is why it's good to duplicate everything, right? Because now I can just, like, delete this, and we can figure out how to do it a bit better. You know? So I'm just going to delete all this. Yeah. Oh, no, I want to delete that. Alright, so we're going to delete this. And then we're going to grab everything, and we're just going to kind of move it along this line. Right? So grab it, move it along the line. I think that's probably better there. Now let's try that out. Highlight the path you want it to take. Hit the following button, and boom, there we go. Now we've got, I don't know why this one's smooth and that one isn't. No idea. I got an idea. I'm gonna move it. So maybe the issue is that it's because it's like around other things. So I'm just gonna move this thing by copying it like I was doing. Now we grab the path that we want it to follow, right? Boom, boom. Hit the follow me button. Oh yeah, it's way better. All right, amazing. So now we can erase all this stuff because we don't need it. And then now we're gonna, maybe I'll make that a group just to make shit easier. And then I'm gonna grab the top of that group on the face that's gonna mate to the throttle body right here, and then I'm just gonna like put it right in the center there. And we're gonna see how that kind of mates up. I mean, it's all right. Yeah, that's fine. See, now does that look better? I feel like it does. All right, wicked. So now I'm gonna explode the group. I'm gonna explode this group, and we're gonna highlight everything, and I'm gonna right click, intersect faces with model. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Come on. Bang. Let's see here. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, this is something that I should probably do. See how there's like underhang here? So we need to like make sure that like there's no underhang here, because like I don't want to have support structures, so we're not going to do support structures. Edit group, extrude. We're going to extrude down just like into it, because why not? For some reason it won't let me. Don't know why. Oh, there we go. That let me. Okay, fine. There we go. Perfect. See? So we'll do the same thing over here after I finish deleting all of this stuff, because we don't need this stuff here. Boom. Boom. Let's see if I can highlight it without highlighting anything else. Okay, good. We're good. Get rid of that. Alright. I'm gonna explode that. I'm gonna highlight everything. Unhighlight the plenum. Right click, intersect faces with model. Give it a sec. Give it a little bit time. It takes so long because there's so many polys in that in this model, so it's kind of annoying. But it's working. It's working. Wow, it's 26 minutes long. I don't even know how I'm gonna edit this. I don't think I'm gonna edit it. I'm just gonna like upload it as it is. Oh, dudes, while we're waiting for this, visit kpopRC.com and get yourself some slaps. I got some slaps. You want to support the channel, get yourself some stickers. Also get yourself some intercoolers. I'm selling some intercoolers, so you can get yourself 3D printed intercoolers. They come with the charge piping on the side, which is super cool. You can get Recaro seats. I'm also selling pairs of Recaro seats and some sticker sheets. And stay tuned, because like we're gonna have a whole new sticker sheet. Two new sticker sheets are coming in the mail, and I'm gonna add those to the store. So make sure you do that, because yeah, support your boy. Yeah. Anyway, oh, it's still going. It says it's not responding. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Man, sometimes I swear to God, it just likes to just like fuck with me. This thing. Yeah, it's annoying as hell. And my knee is throbbing for some reason. It's like itchy. My knee, I fucked up my knee the other day, so it's quite painful actually. Yeah, look at all this stuff. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes if it doesn't show hidden geometry, you can't delete it with the eraser tool. So just make sure sometimes you want to view hidden geometry, and you can delete all these little things. Sometimes these things can screw up your model. So sometimes you just want to see what hidden geometry is around. I don't need any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Alright, cool. So now we can no longer look at hidden geometry. And I think we're pretty solid, man. We're pretty solid. So what I'm going to do now is... Oh, look at that. It sticks out a little bit, eh? Alright, so we're going to have to kind of like extend this out. Hopefully this works. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah, that looks pretty great. And then, oh, I can get rid of some of this slam. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, of course, save the damn thing, because it would suck if it crashed right now and we just, like, lost everything we did. That would be balls and a half. So, let's get this thing flat again. I'm going to make it a group, because it's easier to deal with things when they're groups. And then I'm going to use the rotate tool, and yeah, I got to do it on the red axis. So you see how sometimes it flips blue, so I'm just going to hit the arrow keys until it's red. I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to follow this plane. So I'm going to click on the plane, and then I'm going to bring it back down to 90. It should snap. Yeah, on the green axis. See how it says on the green axis? Hit the button. There we go. There is our intake. That will stick out of the Lexan a little bit, and it'll look super cool. I mean, we're gonna have to probably like fiddle around with this thing a little bit, I'm gonna print it and we'll see if it looks good. If it doesn't look good, we'll just have to tweak and reprint. That's kind of the way she goes with in a group. Yeah, it's just kind of the way that it goes with just 3D designing things, especially kind of by eye. You know, you're gonna have to kind of go at things a few times, problem solve. Sometimes you get lucky though, but lucky times are kind of few and far between. Usually, you end up printing things a few times before they fit properly, which is fine. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna close this hole. I'm kind of getting rid of these, like, I don't know what they are. They might be coil pack screws. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an LS guy. I have no idea. I don't know how many real LSs I've seen in my time. Probably not enough, but I guess with pictures, it's easy to kind of figure stuff out. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, we're just gonna kill all this stuff. Slam. Come on. Boom, boom, slam. There we go. All right, cool. So now we'll just patch this hole. Yeah, weird how sometimes it doesn't like do the whole thing, but even though it is a flat surface. Bizarre. We'll just leave it like that. That's fine. That'll work. All right, wicked. All right, so I think we're gonna go with this one. I don't like this one. We'll just delete it. Just fudge it. All right, so this is what we're gonna print. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna file export the STL. I'm gonna export the STL. It's going into LS hood cutout. It's like I'm gonna call it version 1 because let's be real, there's gonna be more than one version. Boom, we saved it. And now I'm gonna go to my PRUSA Slicer. You see here, this is where we cut the original model to get the right plenum, so we didn't have to model the plenum. Now we're gonna go back in here and yeah, of course. There we go. I found it. Boom. Now this is way too big. All right, so maybe we should probably figure out the size of this thing. All right, so hold on a second. I'm gonna definitely need to measure some stuff. Whoa, the knee. All right, get yourself a vernier, I can't remember, caliper, digital caliper. This thing, you know, they're super cheap. If you don't have one of these things and you're printing 3D printing or 3D designing, then get one, because this is how you precisely measure things. And yeah, I mean, I got my 240 right here. So now we're just gonna kind of measure how big we want this thing, using, you know, a reference. So it kind of looks like that motor sticks out, engine sticks out, goes all the way down. It's actually quite large. We're talking, I think the first one we print is going to be about, oh man, with the intake though, it's going to be pretty big. Let's see here, 60. Yeah, let's do 70 mils. Alright, so we're gonna do it 70 millimeters. Let's get back to SketchUp here. And the way I like to sort of scale things is I'll usually just draw a line. And we know we want it 70 millimeters, so if you type 70 millimeters, there's your 70 mils. Now I'm gonna scale this thing from the corner. And now we kind of have a rough guide. Because it's a group, it shouldn't be affected when you scale it. So when I scale now, we'll be able to see that line. Too bad it doesn't scale on that point, huh? It's kind of too bad. Here, we'll move it and we'll see if we're close. It's too bad it doesn't scale on the point that I'm working on, you know? All right, let's see if we're close. I think we're pretty freaking close. And we don't have to, I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, so yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, I can delete that line. And now we're gonna export this out again. File, export as it. Let's get back to the PRUSA Slicer. Bam, we'll delete this because it's too big. And yeah, we're gonna hit it again. Boom, there we go. This is exactly what we're looking for. If you see there's a little sort of exclamation point here, and there are apparently 1,998 errors. So let's if we click this thing, it actually ends up fixing the model for me. It's another great thing about the PRUSA Slicer. It's another reason to download this software, even if you're not using it as a slicer, but it does fix your STL. So you can do like wild things in SketchUp or other programs, and it'll hopefully it'll like loft and fix everything for you. Right now, this is actually taking longer than it usually does, which is kind of too bad, which means, of course, take a swig of beer. There you go, model repaired successfully, so that's really great. I think it's ready to go. We can pretty much print this thing. I'm going to print it at like a high quality, 0.1 of a millimeter. Why not? What are we going to do? Yeah, 15 is fine, whatever. And then we're gonna hit slice, and we're gonna see what happens. See, the problem with this is that we do have a little bit of overhang right here, which is a problem right there. And you can kind of see how it's gonna end up looking, right? It's not gonna be like we're not using a resin printer here, so because we're not using a resin printer, we're gonna get some like artifacting in terms of like the layers, the fused deposition layers, which is totally fine. I'm gonna have to add some support material right here. So this is another cool thing about this program, is I can like right click it and add a support enforcer. This little tiny box here, and I can like scale the box. So I'm gonna scale it down like so. Yeah, and I'm just gonna cover that little piece. Yeah, just that little freaking piece. Anyway, here if we go to supports and go support enforcers only and hit slice, you can see here it created just like a easy looking support structure to hold up this little part, which is totally cool. I was thinking of putting a blow off valve, but like I've never seen them, and then the hood won't, like, the hood wouldn't close, or wouldn't be able to get it through the Lexan. So I'm just trying to think. I don't think we need it, so we're just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, that looks pretty decent, I think. Looks pretty decent. Yeah, and then I think another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a sliver. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna cut this thing where I want the Lexan to poke through, right? So the Lexan, it would be cool if the Lexan was like this, right? Although it sucks because, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to cut out this little nipple here. Anyway, here, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a cut, perform cut. Then I'm gonna get rid of that piece, yeah. And then I'm gonna do another cut. And the next cut's gonna be like way lower down. Yeah, like that. Perform cut. Perfect. Now I'm gonna get rid of the top one. So this is what you would want to cut out of the Lexan, basically, in order to like show off, you know? I don't know. We'll figure this out, I think. Maybe I'll end up exporting this out. We'll do this later. First, let's print this and see how it goes, right? So we're on to printing. I'm gonna slice, and we're ready to go. I'm gonna put it on an SD card. I'm gonna print it out of, I guess, whatever I have left of my PETG. I think it should be black though, probably. Yeah, let's make it black, because then we can just add little silver accents. I think that's super sick. All right, wicked. So check it out. So I'm preheated to PETG. We've got all the temperatures pretty good. Now I'm just gonna pick the the file, print from SD card. Hood LS is what we're gonna print. I'm gonna hit enter. I have got to upgrade the firmware, which I will do. And now it's heating. So here we've got, we've got our filament dryer here. This is where the filament's kept while it prints.
This, is the filament to the print head, and now it's just going to print. Yeah, it's going to start printing this file. So first it's got to level the bed. It's just leveling the bed now. And yeah, it's auto leveling, which is another amazing reason to get a PRUSA printer. I do believe they are coming out with an XL version of this printer. So if you are in the market and you want to spend like $1,000, maybe wait until that one comes out, because it's going to have a larger printing surface. Not that I ever really need anything larger, but yeah. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. This is probably a bad thing. I should probably wipe the printing surface with some alcohol. There we go. Yeah, wicked. So, it's just printing in the center there, so I just have to make sure that was clean, because these plastics, they release some oil when they print. So after every print, you want to really wipe down the surface of your print area. But yeah. Anyway, so this is printing now. You can see it's purging the nozzle, so it does a purge. Yeah, purge there. You can see it's purged. And now it's starting to print. So apparently this is going to take an hour to print. So we'll come back in an hour and see how she does. Sweet.
So I printed it out, and I think it's just a little bit too small, so I made it a little bit bigger. And I also went in and I sliced a piece of this in the PRUSA Slicer, and I made sort of like a template. So now this piece, let's make sure it's a group. Oh yeah, it is a group. I just made sure that it fits with a little bit to spare, because I know there's going to be some double-sided tape. So we're talking a couple of mils, maybe 1 mil of space. It's weird. Oh right, of course it moved. It moved weirdly. Okay, perfect. So now you can kind of see how this is going to look when yeah, when you oh come on, it's ridiculous. Yeah, when you cut out the Lexan. So this is actually a template to help you cut out that Lexan. It was like a rogue piece. Yeah, so now we're going to print out these two new pieces, and I still called them version 1 because I still feel like we're still on version 1. Yeah, here we go. So now if we, oh, that's not what I want. Oh, Jesus. Huh. Version 1, template version 1, here we go. Boom. There we go. All right, so we're gonna print this out now. So it's gonna take another hour. It's kind of like trial and error for sure. But yeah, this looks good. And I also kind of bridged this down. I kind of, this used to kind of float in space, and so I kind of got rid of it. And yeah, I just kind of made it taper down. No one's really gonna notice. It's 10 scale, so it's super small, and this avoids using support structure. So we should be good to go to print it again. So let's print it again, and then we're gonna check it out and see how well it fits. Boom. Yes, so awesome. Come on, repair already. Anyway, cheers to beers, dudes. All right, so we're gonna do that, and yeah, I'll see you guys when we print it. Boom.
All right, wicked. Yes. All right, so I printed out both the template and the poke. The poke, it's a little, it's a little bit crappy, to be honest. This particular print, we're gonna have to probably print it again, which is fine. But for testing purposes, I think this will do just fine. This printing bed is still super hot, so the problem with peeling things when they're super hot is that sometimes you can like bend them and they'll actually stay bent, so you have to be kind of careful. But yeah, that is the template. The template will be used to, let's make sure we're in focus. Yeah, so the template will be used to cut the Lexan, right? And the Lexan needs to be cut properly in order to fit this through, and then we can adhere. We can use shoe glue, and we can like glue the outside corners on the inside of the Lexan body, and this will be the Lexan, right? So it'll be kind of like poking out of the hood, which I think works super well. This thing fits pretty great. So, damn. Thing's stuck on there. Won't come off. I'm getting there. There we go. All right, cool. Now let's take a look at this thing in the light. It's not the super best. I mean, it's fine. It just needs sandpaper and a whole bunch of priming. That, or I need a resin printer, because this would have printed super clean with a resin printer. Also, I printed at PETG, so I have a feeling PLA would have printed much better. So next when I print, I'm going to print PLA, and we're going to see if the quality is better. But for now, these two will be good enough to, to try out on the 240. Huge. Sweet. So here is the template. The template's going to probably go right here. I think that's where it looks the best. I mean, you got to think there's like an intercooler here, then there's a radiator, and then there's the V8, and the V8 is probably right here. You got to make sure it's centered, and you can see I used masking tape to sort of like cover the body, so I can use a Sharpie marker and I can kind of trace out this template. And so let's do that. All right, wickets, I got a Sharpie. Now I'm hoping that you're in focus. Okay, I'm gonna end up covering it and you're not gonna see anything, so that's not good. Damn. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna hold it. I feel like that's pretty close to center right there. And now we're gonna do a little tracey trace. Now I'm gonna keep the template up. All right, so we're gonna end up, cutting out this section of body, and it's going to end up with. All right, man. Let's hope we don't destroy this body. That would suck if we destroyed the body. I'm gonna get an X-Acto. So I'm gonna use a step drill. Cool thing about step drills are, it's just a good point to cut into the body. I'm just gonna get a pilot hole going. I think that's a smart move. Awesome. I'm just going to trace around. It's going to be hard to do on camera. So I'm probably just going to turn the camera off, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. All right, sweet. So there it is. I'm just going to hit this up. I'm going to peel all this tape off, And I'm going to hit all this with sandpaper to get it really nice and smooth, or maybe even a file. And yeah, so sandpaper next, just to get this thing super clean. Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's all, the attention to detail. It's all in the details to make this thing look super cool. So that's how it goes. So let me take this off, hit it with some sandpaper, and then see how it looks. All right, wicked. So this thing looks like a turd or whatever, but it actually looks pretty good when you put the LS engine through it. Looks pretty decent. I like it a lot. I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm super into it. You know what? I'm gonna do some more work on it. I think I need to cut some more. All right, that looks way better. I think that's the ticket, man. I think that looks pretty hot. It's a bit subtle. You can see it's there. Yeah, pretty sweet. I hope it doesn't have to go forward. It's like one thing that maybe it should have gone a bit forward, but it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty sweet. Decent. Huge. Let's glue it. Shoe glue it.
Cheers to beers. That's it for this episode of KpopRC. Yeah, just subscribe if you want to subscribe. Whatever. It's a long episode. Let me know if you made it all the way through the episode. That would be super huge. Yeah, I think the LS poke on the hood turned out pretty well. And also, don't forget to go to kpopRC.com and pick yourself up a wicked sticker sheet and an intercooler or some Recaro seats or whatever else on that website. Help support your boy. And yeah, wicked. Cheers to beers. See you guys on the next one.